Hey, how's it going, friends? It's your girl Ash Coyote. I hope you all are doing well. Obviously I made it through surgery. Here I am. I'm very sore. Oh my god, am I sore. Hey, you remember how I said I'm getting boobs? I got boobs. So I kind of wanted to share a little bit with you about what the process has been like, because this has been a very interesting process. It's definitely taken some time for me to really get to a point where I feel comfortable recording. As of right now, as of this very minute, this second, I don't know, probably not this second. At the time of recording this video, it's about 4 days post-op. So I've had some time to recover, and I've definitely had a few surprises with all this too. Good surprises and maybe some not so good surprises, but I think that overall it's a net positive. And I think a lot of the quote unquote not so good surprises are more related to post-operative pain after surgery, which was a little bit more than expected. So let me kind of talk a little bit about the process. So I went through Kaiser to get my breast augmentation. They were really nice. They did a really good job. I'm with Kaiser, Colorado. I think from the point of getting my WPATH letter in to the point of me being scheduled for surgery and then getting surgery would have been about 5 months total. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that you might expect and some of the things you might not expect getting this operation. So I know that some of you are curious what it's like to kind of go through a surgery like this. I think it's worth saying right now, straight up, no surgery is simple, no surgery is easy. This surgery is certainly not an exception. This was actually, of all the surgeries I've had, the one that hurt the most. And that's a little weird to me because everybody said that this one would probably be the one that hurt the least. Maybe my nerve block didn't work. I had the form of breast augmentation where they slide the implant underneath the muscle. So, my implants are beneath the pectoral muscle, which is incredibly sore right now. As you can see, I'm wearing a button-up shirt, and you can probably see right here, I have just a little bit of this bandage that is showing, and essentially they have my whole chest in this compression bra and bandages from the surgery. And I mean, I feel hunched over. I feel very curmudgeon-y. It's a little uncomfortable, but that's because if I lean back, so if I kind of go like this and put my chest forward, it still hurts. I'm 4 days post-op, I'm on pain medication, and it still hurts. Though I will say that the pain is a lot more manageable right now. It's a lot more manageable than it was, which was not very manageable. So let's kind of talk about that. With any operation, you can expect to have pain. With this particular operation, I just don't think that I was prepared for the pain that came from kind of the muscle displacement with the implant. I had FFS before, and that was pretty much like reliving Face Off, like that weird movie with Nicolas Cage. I gotta live that. I have a really wicked scar from that along the top of my head, and I mean, despite all that, despite literally feeling like I got ran over by a truck after FFS, it still wasn't as painful as this. So the first 2 days were definitely the most painful. I didn't really sleep the first night. I was incredibly sore. I could barely get up by myself. I had to have my husband Chip pretty much assist me with everything. So those first 2 days of recovery, they're rough. And I didn't really have big implants put in. I had 350cc implants put in, which are roughly average. My goal, so my philosophy with transition is I just want to be me. I don't want porn star boobs. I don't want to look fake and plastic. I just want to be me, and I want to be as me as I can possibly be. So a lot of the times when I kind of approach an operation or something that I want to have done that might help with my gender dysphoria, I approach it from a sense of well, if I had gone through my life, and had estrogen instead of testosterone, what might have I looked like? right? You know, so like I might look at family members, I might look at, you know, folks in a similar age range, I might, you know, look at folks who might be as tall as me, or, you know, somewhere along those different tiers, in order to help kind of figure out where I should go with it and how I should go with it. And that usually ends up in a pretty happy place. It usually does. Like I feel like the work I had done with FFS and, you know, like this work here and some of the other stuff that I've had done too has all felt very, very natural and I don't know how to put this, like euphoric, symbiotic, beautiful, wonderful. It's just, it's an amazing feeling. Even being in pain right now, you know, like I feel more complete as myself. And that's kind of, I think, the most important thing when it comes to any of this. Now, the postoperative pain did go away after day 2. And it went away with my ability to take NSAIDs. So things like ibuprofen, Motrin, you know, they don't let you take for 2 days after the surgery. You're only limited to Tylenol and an opioid. I don't like opioids. I really don't. I feel like the risk of dependency is incredibly high. I avoid them at all costs. Even after major surgeries, I don't take them. And so instead of doing an opioid, I just stuck with Tylenol and the muscle relaxers that they gave me, and I kind of wrote it out till I could take the NSAIDs, and the NSAIDs, they did a wonderful job. I mean, on Motrin and Tylenol right now, I am perfectly well managed as far as pain goes. In fact, I mean, aside from a little bit of a dual throb, I feel normal. When I initially wanted to go about breast augmentation, good God, like 5 or 6 years ago, I couldn't afford it. It was so expensive. I think at the end of the procedure and everything said and done, you know, like, so if I wanted to get like silicone implants and I wanted to have basically the same stuff that I had done through Kaiser, it would have cost me close to like $12,000. I don't have $12,000 lying around. I mean, that's a lot. And that's kind of this medical gatekeeping that's existed for a lot of individuals who are trans pretty much since they've come out, right? You know, like we don't have immediate access to these resources, so it becomes really difficult for us to be ourselves, and more often than not we get caught somewhere in between. I mean, imagine if we could all have FFS, if we could all, for those who want it, you know, like get bottom surgery or top surgery or be able to achieve some semblance of peace with our bodies. I mean, wouldn't that be the right thing? Wouldn't that be the good thing? I think that's the most important thing. The good news is it looks like most insurance companies are finally starting to turn around and starting to cover this kind of thing. In terms of like timelines go, I mean, like I transitioned, I think about 6.5, 7 years ago now. And in that time, I've seen things go from kind of this very ridiculous gatekeepy, you know, like WPATH styled, keep out everybody who hasn't seen a therapist for like years and had, you know, like their transness confirmed by a medical board, which is or was a thing, to there being more widespread informed consent clinics for HRT, wider access and knowledge bases as far as like the trans community goes, better resources for us to transition, better operations. I mean, we're kind of in a little bit of a renaissance as far as the availability of medicine to treat what we are going through. My hope is that, you know, like sometime in the future, like this can be something that no one else has to worry about. You know, no trans kids have to be concerned about their ability to transition or to be the person that they are. They just can be. And that doctors will be there to help and not to hinder the process. That parents can understand it. That people can have just a better understanding overall of what we go through. I say this a lot in my own kind of personal conversations, and it's kind of a going theme in a lot of my work. But I strongly believe that trans experiences are in fact the most human experiences. They're the experiences that come from questioning one's own reality, questioning one's identity, the very core, the fabric of who you are, and uncovering your true self. Despite societal conventions, despite pressures and everything else that comes in from the world around you, you take that moment and you own it, and then you become you. There's nothing more beautiful in the world to me. That is the essence of our experience, and it is the most human experience. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you aren't already, and drop me a comment in the comments section below. Let me know what you think of the trans experience from the medical side of things, from the healthcare side of things. What are areas that you could see being improved? Have you had good experiences or bad experiences in our system? I want to know. Drop me a comment in the comment section below. Anyways, I hope you all have a fabulous day. Goodbye.